Good morning, everyone. Randy here. You're not going to believe this. I had to get this to you. They're actually at the Senate floor talking about robotics and jurisprudence and seeing where they could create a robot that could actually sit on the bench and be our judge. Listen to this.
Say that, and we quite purposefully stack the deck in JRR's favor. Those are things which absolutely show that JRR behaved in accordance with all of those rules. But the question is up for grabs, and that's the question I think before us, is to decide, for example, whether JRR was a rule follower. And so, sort of with that in mind as just one of the opening sets of things, I just want to say that I don't think that what we were trying to do in our paper, which is a sense I got from some of your remarks, was to say that, like, the way that you put it was that you said that our argument revolves around a set of assumptions about robots. And we saw our project very differently. We saw our project as not making those assumptions, but rather think it the other way around. What would be the elements of proof that be required to say that JRR is actually carrying out these kinds of functions that we think are so important to judge? And I'll just make one more last remark, and I'm sorry for taking so long to sort of just set out the first basic point. For us, I think it was really, it's important to see that the question we are asking is not a question about whether JRR is a member of the human community. It is not a question about whether JRR would be considered a person, or some of these things that were raised in the final session of yesterday. Ours is a question about whether JRR could, in any meaningful sense, be understood to be in a position to carry out the activity of human judging as we understand it. I'll perhaps pass it over to Chrisman to say a few other things.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jack, for some really fascinating questions, and I'm really looking forward to the discussion. So I don't have too much else to say, but I do want to say that it's important that we concede that certainly, at least in the appearance, I mean, you have legal arguments being made, you have legal reasoning being done, you have decisions being rendered. So we concede that from the outset, but this paper is really focused on a particular practice, the practice of judging. What is it we expect of judges? What do they owe us? What is the relationship?
Can you believe that? Can you believe that? They are actually working on keyword building a robot that when they say, will please rise, the judge is being plugged in and booted up. Can you believe that we're even hearing this with our ears and seeing it with our eyes? Does this bit of forewarning carry any value to you, that someone would be sitting in front of a computer staring at things like this out there in the world today, to bring it to the fit financial team while it's happening? Does that carry any value to you? It would carry a tremendous amount of value to me if I knew that type of information was going to be coming on a regular basis. You could not put a kind of a price tag on that. I hope that you got a chance to go over this. It will be in the library. I do believe I put it in the value packed report. You can find it in the library at the Fit newsroom. Just pull up report, do a search on reports or the most recent, query it by the most recent. You'll see value pack report. I'm going to be gone over the 4th of July weekend, and I march in a parade in Temple, Texas, and with just 2 or 3 of the remaining members of my little team, my little swimming team back in the Navy. Yeah. And y'all go out and have a safe weekend. Remember what we're remembering. The spirit of those people that stood up to the tyrannical government of its overreaching power to control them gave this the greatest experiment known to mankind its first breath. And the last breath of many was given so we could be here today. And to see the very principles that they died for, my friends died for, being trampled on, pisses me off. And I hope it does the same to you. If you don't want to be in the number of those people with their little hands out for their penance, it's going to be the gruel that they would give to us to eat should they be in full control, which is what they're trying to do. Look at it, people. We have the pathway out, and it doesn't even cost you anything if you don't have any money. And if you do, it's only $35 that we can show you how you can turn that in to whatever number of commas you want to put on the back side of that. Sitting right here and people are just walking by it, trampling over it, picking it apart with words like, what do you mean by destiny? Goodness gracious. They have got you under the ether so far it makes me want to just grab a hold of them and yank a knot in their backside. And to think that as I sit here once again bringing the truth to people, they can't even see it. I know we've got STP problems. We're going to be working on fixing that. What's your next excuse for saving your own life and your children and your children's children possibly? Could this get to be so strong that it could affect you that far away? Yes, it could. Are you ready to do it is the question. I won't rant too long, but use this time of remembrance to see if you can muster up the feeling of the spirit of those people who stood up and said, what would they think if we did about it? Would it be illegal? Is it illegal what we're doing here, Mr. Jefferson? Are we getting in trouble here? Is this illegal? Thank God those men and women followed their heart and their spirit, or you wouldn't be here today even able to make that silly statement that you just made. If you made that statement, is it legal? My God, we're over 21 years of age. We're supposed to live in the most freest country in the world, and you're asking me if it's legal for you to spend $35 on something that you feel will help you and your family when you know dadgum good and well this government will not? You're asking me if it's legal? Good God, wake up, people. Have a safe weekend. I'll be back on Sunday. God bless you. Go out and smile at a stranger tomorrow. We all need to. It's Jedi 1. We down.